Hey guys, it's Hot Alpha Female and welcome to this video. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. I've done this take so many freaking times, and if it's over 10 minutes I cannot upload it to YouTube, so I've got a timer. And if you hear a weird buzzing, it's because I'm over time. So basically, I'm going to quickly explain what I'm doing. I'm going to have a video thing like this every Monday, and it's called Find Your Man Mondays, and I'll be answering questions from women, us girls, yes, that you've given me that you want answered. So you can email me at hotafafemale@live.com. I'm going to leave the link in my blog post. Hopefully it won't get spammed. And you can just send me all your questions and I'll answer them the next week. So obviously, since this is some concept that I've just come up with, and it's going to be every Monday, by the way, I've gone to a website that I go to all the time for inspiration if I want to go help out some people or I just want to discuss some stuff, and it's called girlsaskguys.com. I'm going to leave the link below as well. And basically it's an awesome hub where like guys and girls go, and like, you know, you can interact with each other, ask each other's questions, and you really get insight as to how the opposite sex works, because you're getting them to answer your questions from like a male perspective, from a female perspective, and they've got different categories and you can rate each other. It's so awesome. You guys have to go there. So I've gone there to get 3 questions, which I'm gonna do my best to answer in like 7 minutes. Far out. Okay, so I'm gonna be really quick. So the first question was, and I've done this take like so many times, I know it off by heart now. First question was by Grindor, Gryndor, in the flirting category, and she asked, is there kind of a rule of thumb as to how consistent you need to be talking to someone when you first start dating? So her example was, she's met this really nice guy, they've gone on a couple of dates, blah blah blah, and she emails him every day, like they emailed each other every day. So the first thing I have to say is, in terms of consistency, when you first start dating, you don't want to be too consistent. And I don't mean like play games with them or anything like that, but just, you know, mix it up a bit. If you want to talk to a guy one day, but you don't feel like talking to him one day, then don't do it, you know. And then the next day, talk to him about whatever you need to talk to him about. I mean, sometimes our lives get so busy, and sometimes they get really dull, and you know, sometimes you have a lot to say and sometimes you have nothing to say, and I think it can really just kill the passion if like you're on the phone one day and go, hi, how was your day, and no one gets to, oh, I'm hitting the light here, no one says anything about anything, and it's just like, oh god, like, is this guy like really into me? Do we actually have a lot in common? And you start questioning like things like that. But say if you're talking, like, you know, that's if you're talking to a guy like, you know, once every day or once every 2 hours. But say the same situation, same guy, same everything, but you only talk to him like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, right? That's still pretty regular, but I reckon you just get so much more out of that interaction, that conversation, than if you spoke to each other every day. Because like when you speak to each other every day, you talk about mundane things and just kind of get into this rut so quickly, like just at the beginning of the conversation, right? So I would like avoid that whole area, because, you know, once you get in a relationship with them further down the track, you're going to get into a rut in a way. So why start early? That's what I think. Don't know whether that's good advice, but that's just my commentary on it. So I would say, the question is too much or too little. I would say less is more. Always, until you're in a committed relationship and you actually have to incorporate each other's needs and still add variety and stuff like that, but it's more like, you know, being real. And second question was, does it ever annoy you that you are single? And she asked, obviously asking that generically, like she wasn't asking me. And she's like, you know, do you ever have dry spells? Are your opinions of people who are single different to people who are in a relationship? Are you happy about it? Is it something that you enjoy? So the only thing I have to say about that is, obviously we all know that I love being single, but at the same time I think, you know, some people use being single as like a weapon almost, like to prevent them from opening up. They're like, oh no, single life, it's just like way too awesome and I never want to get into a relationship, and they go flick their hair and they're like, no, I'm too good for it all. And I think that's like the wrong mentality. I think being single is just as important as being in a relationship, because being single, you learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about your past relationship, and you don't take all that baggage and take it to your next relationship, because you've kind of like healed yourself and understood yourself more. So I think it's if you're single, enjoy it, like enjoy it for as long as it lasts. Don't prevent another relationship from coming into your life. You don't want to do that, but just enjoy it. Like, don't be like, oh god, I'm single, and like rock yourself to sleep every night that you're single. No, you don't need to do that. Like, you're single, go out, have a good time, do all the things that you can do while you're only single. And then if a relationship happens to fall in your life, then start enjoying being in a relationship, because each has its benefits and costs or whatever. So I just think you have to enjoy the moment. If you're single, enjoy it. If you're in a relationship, enjoy it. That's my only advice. Okay, 3 minutes, awesome. So the next question was by Princess25 Sarah, and this was in the relationship section, and she's like, friends with benefits, does it ever become more? She was obviously female. And I would say that friends with benefits definitely works better for guys than it ever does for girls. And yeah, everyone may argue with me. I don't really care. Argue with me gives me stuff to, feed off. But I really think that, yeah, it benefits the guy a lot more, and a lot of women get into this, they fall into it, they kind of just stack into friends with benefits because they really like a guy, and then he's quite forward, so she's like, yeah, why not? And I just think that it jumps from like one part of the dating arena way too far ahead, and I think it just kind of kills the whole mystery and the challenge of it all, because he's like, well, I scored her, so and then he doesn't really want to get into a relationship with you. And I had this debate with Lance about it like a long time ago, and we were like, yeah, timing away, but whatever, this is what I think. And so I think a lot of women fall into friends with benefits and don't really, and then they want that kind of man to commit, and because they're emotionally attached now, and they think, oh well, we've shared this intimate thing, then why not share a relationship? And for the guy, it's much easier for him to kind of stand back and just say, like, yeah, we're friends with benefits, whatever, like it works out, why change it? And for women, it's a lot harder. Oh god, I wanted to say something else. Having a mental blank happens all the time. And yeah, so friends with benefits, I reckon it definitely benefits the guy more. And I would say that, can it ever become more? Absolutely. Like, it absolutely can. I just don't think that the percentage, like the success rate, if you want to call it that, is very high. And that's the other thing I wanted to add. I would ask, if you're a female and you're in a friends with benefits relationship, I would say, if you're a little bit concerned about where it's going to go, the situation that you're in, I would say, why is it that you're actually there? Why is it that you're actually avoiding something? Because sometimes you can get in friends with benefits because you don't really want to commit, and you just still want, or you want to feel love, so you go for connection rather than love. Is it, I would seriously look at your situation and ask yourself, is that what you really, really, really want? Or is that just what you made yourself believe that you want because you're trying to hide from something, you're trying to run from something, you're trying to repress a certain emotion? Because, yeah, I don't think it's a naturally healthy thing. Yeah, it can be, like, absolutely 10% of that can be, but for the other most part, I reckon women fall into it for a reason, because they've got unfulfilled needs that aren't being met elsewhere, or they're just trying to repress a certain emotion, and they don't want to commit into a relationship, so they fall into friends with benefits because it has all the intimacy of an actual relationship, but none of the actual emotional stuff. And I think that you're just forever running when you're in one of those relationships. But yeah, that's what I think. Okay, this is definitely going to be under 10 minutes, so I'm stopping this. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, what you think of my new video thing, what you think of this. I'm buzzing, so I gotta go, and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you guys soon. Bye.